Well, here at Truly Tropical, flower season is pretty much over for our mango trees. There are a few varieties that are still producing flowers, but we get to see how successful some of that flowering was. So right now I wanted to show you the varieties that have a crazy amount of fruit. Right here, this is Hayden, and we've got just a whole bunch of fruit all over. This is Angie, and it has even more fruit set than the Hayden. And then there's Marlis, just making a spectacle of herself. It's just fruit all over. Here's Sweet Tart, just a ton of fruit on Sweet Tart. Here's one of our Nam Doc Mai trees, just a lot of fruit. More crazy fruit set with Floragon. And here's Duncan, just crazy amount of fruit set, just all over. It seems like every branch tip has tons of fruit. Here's one of the trees right next to our sales area. And you can see just a lot of fruit right in this area. Then you go over here and there's nothing. So as you may know, that's because this is a different variety than right over here. It's a multi-grafted tree, and this particular variety is doing great this year. It is Saitong, it's got a ton of fruit, and over here is St. Maui, and St. Maui not looking too good for fruit this year. So here's Cogs Hall, just a lot of fruit. Here's Neelam, just a lot of fruit all over this tree. So here's Beverly, just a lot of fruit all over. Kit is doing very well too. We've got a lot of small fruit, and if you look up here, there's some fruit that's more than an inch big. Jakarta's looking pretty good too. This is Page. Now, Page, it doesn't seem like there's that much fruit, but there actually is for Page because each fruit gets to be really big. So even though the tree is a pretty good size, it can't support a crazy amount of fruit, but it looks like a very good year for Page. Fingers crossed. Well, here's Chokanon, and just an insane amount of fruit. Here's Turpentine, just lots of fruit. And of course, Rosa is once again producing a lot of fruit. Himsagar is having a great year. Just lots of fruit. Now, this is what I often call USDA Himsagar. It's probably a seedling of the Himsagar that's in India, but it's a little bit different. Still a great fruit, but slightly different from the one in India. And finally, we can't talk about lots of mangoes on a tree without talking about Dwarf Hawaiian. Dwarf Hawaiian just makes a crazy amount of fruit. It's, you know, a fairly small fruit, so this tree can hold a fair amount of fruit. But with any tree, any mango tree, it's going to set a lot more fruit than it could actually support until it's mature. And so you know, when the fruit are small, you can take off anything that is starting to yellow because it's not going to last anyway. But when they get bigger, anything that has any sort of defect, you can take off, and you can also thin the fruit. Pretty much per panicle, 1 or 2 fruit is ideal, but then you have certain areas, especially on Dwarf Hawaiian, because the fruit never gets huge. But for instance, this one has 4 fruit, and you know, I don't think it will hold all 4, but it is supporting them pretty well. So it might end up supporting 3 of those. And this one right behind it, that one wouldn't last anyway. It was already starting to yellow. So, you know, don't count your mangoes before they're hatched. You know, there's a lot of fruit set on most trees, and a lot of fruit fall after the fruit set. So, you know, the good news is you can't have a lot of fruit any year without a lot of fruit set, but you know, don't start naming your fruit yet. You know, like Fred here might not make it. Just be patient. And if you do see something wrong with the fruit, you can take it off, and that means more energy goes to the rest of the fruit on the tree.